Hey guys, thanks for joining me again. And in this video, we're going to be talking about administrator privileges in the terminal. So I mentioned briefly in the previous video about file permissions, and we really didn't jump in. And so I've created a file in a location that I don't have access to. The file I've created is it's at etc, it's in the etc directory, and it's just called file. So if I change directory into etc and then type L, we can scroll here. It's alphabetical, and so we can see file right here. That's the file I created. Let's say I want to edit it. And we're going to be going into Nano a lot in the future, but right now I'm going to be using Nano, and in order to edit this file, it's a terminal application for text editing. So I'm going to type Nano and then in the current directory open file. And this is going to open this file that I've written, which is great. I can view it. But what happens when I try to write to it? I'm going to hit Control O, which is the command to save this file, and I'm going to type Enter. And it's going to give me an error warning that I don't have permission to do this. And so if I click Control X, it's going to ask me if I want to save changes, so I'm going to say no because I can't. Well, then how do we edit that file that I've just created? We need to use administrative privileges in order to be able to edit that file. Now there's two ways to do this. The first one is to type sudo before the command. And what this means is super user do. It's an abbreviation. Super user is a term in Linux that identifies your privilege level. So super user do allows you to make changes to files and perform administrative tasks for this one command. So if I type sudo nano file, that will let me edit the file. So now I can type test343, hit Control O, and then enter, and we see a success message, wrote 2 lines. So I can now exit this, and it has been saved. Now, what if I don't want to retype the entire command? So if I type nano file, try to write to it, it will fail because permissions denied. I haven't run this specific command as sudo. So I'm going to exit. What you actually need to do is type sudo and 2 exclamation marks. So the 2 exclamation marks basically mean run the previous command. So by prepending that with the term sudo, it will rerun the previous command as sudo. What if you have a lot of things to do and you don't want to write sudo before every single command? So now, what if you have a lot of things to do and you don't want to type sudo in front of every single command? You could actually do this, and that's the su command. And what this means is switch user. So generally, you type switch user, or su, followed by the name of the user account you want to switch to. What we're going to do is type sudo su. And this is going to change us to the root account. And as you can see, the name prepending the computer's name, so this is the computer name, and this is the name of the current user I'm acting as, which is root. And the root user has 100% control of everything. So now I can type nano file and add a new line. Control O and Control X to close it. Now, when I want to switch back over to my user account, I'll type su space nick. and that's going to get me back into my user account. So basically, if you get a permission error running a command, you might need to run that command as sudo. For instance, if you're editing files in any directory other than your home directory, you're not going to have permission to those files. And we'll go over in the future how to get permission to files. But for right now, for all intents and purposes, these instances is when you would run your command prepended with sudo. If you have a lot of these commands to run and you don't want to type sudo before every command, just type sudo space su. So thank you guys for watching this video. We're going to be continuing command line in the next video as well. And again, we're going to be doing it for quite a while, so I hope you guys are enjoying this.